Hello everybody, welcome to your Friday edition of the MCN. Lots happening in the crazy world of Marvel Contest of Champions, mainly today. So what about Marvel Contest of Champions? Well, look, compensation for the 6-star featured issue should be out today, but that is with a potential question marks because, as you know, some stuff happens. Kabam say it's going to happen. Sometimes it happens earlier, sometimes it happens later. That's just MCOC in a nutshell. But yeah, hopefully this compensation goes live today. But there are a few other things happening today. The first thing being, or the only thing really, is the live stream. There's a lot of high hopes for this live stream from Kabam's perspective, from our perspective, from everyone's perspective. Everyone wants to see things go in a positive direction. And of course, there is this kind of weird thing about you have to be more vigilant this time because of the way things are with Kabam and stuff. So, good example would be in their post, they say that, hey summoners, because we didn't know what was actually going to be happening when it comes to Twitch drops and promo codes. But in fact, you get both. Yes. The good news about it is that both is going to be going out, but what these secret promo codes are, we just don't know just yet, but we'll find out more tomorrow. Hey summoners, along with Twitch drops and giveaways, we're spicing things up with the secret promo codes this time. I like the way they've put secret promo codes. Is there, or are there, or could there be more than one? Command ain't that generous. They could surprise us, but they're not that generous, okay? But there's also other things like keep your eyes sharp and ears perked, grab those goodies before anyone else does. So I don't know if there's a limit, and that's the thing that scares me, like Kabam putting a limit to stuff. Either way, I'm excited to see. I want to hear proposition from Kabam, and it's 9 AM PT. Now I don't know, because we're on daylight savings time at the moment, so when I'm recording this video, it is 9 PM, nearly half past 9 PM Friday. Thursday even, but it's technically for other people it would be 1 hour. I'm 1 hour in the future of you, you're 1 hour in the past, because daylight savings time I don't think goes over completely to other countries at the same time. Either way, you know, 9 AM PST in the UK might actually be 6 PM maybe, he says. We'll have to see with that. I hope it isn't. I hope it is 5 PM, but because I want to get, you know, video coverage done. But there we go. Is there anything else? Well, there should be discussed Act 9.2 in all of this, and I know a lot of people are looking for answers to stuff. I think Kabam will go over this in the live stream. Kabam Dork said stay tuned, and the only thing that can be confirmed is there's at least one crystal in there somewhere, I think. Okay, good. Funny. Will there be a tier 7 basic? Put it in the comments. Do you think it's going to be on level as, say, some of the like ordeal? I don't know, because then that's weird. It'd be weird because then the ordeal would have better awards than story content, which is meant to be more easier. Would you say? Well, that's again a debatable thing right there. But yeah, roll on the live stream later on. I'm looking forward to it to find out, you know, what's new to the game, what Kabam going to fix. Speaking of fixes, we're going to end on the biggest topic because, well, Kabam do fix bugs. I nearly choked then when I said that. Kabam fix bugs. They do, they try, but sometimes it doesn't work out according to plan, or maybe the pace is off. Let's find out. The Kabam gave a bit more transparency. As we did say in the last 3 weeks, Kabam are being a bit better with their transparency. Transparency in giving information of how they deal with things. I'm really hoping for more. Dev diary information is so good. I mean, look at what not Kabam. That'd be great. I was going to say, look at what Marvel Rivals and NetEase are doing at the moment with their dev diaries. It's absolutely, like, amazing. Absolutely amazing. However, though, what have Kabam got to say when it comes to MCC release process and bugs fixes? We on the community team had a moment to speak with the game team regarding sentiment. We often hear around any certain issues haven't been fixed, or what is taking so long around issuing acknowledgement and solutions, and wanted to share with you their thoughts. This is a complicated and multifaceted question, and the answers vary depending on the specific issues we're talking about, and as well the game developer. I would say that there's been good instances of other developers who've been able to deal with stuff relatively quickly, And I guess that there's going to be some developers that are relatively good in the processes and the engineering time and whatever time to fix them is very different across different types of companies. Maybe it was the case that Kabam, when they were, had lots of people working for them, they were able to cover stuff, but I don't know. But we'd like to spend a little time today talking about one of the many variables we juggle here, our build release pipeline. One of the challenges of running a live service game that releases a new build every single month, similar to Marvel Rivals, is that the next release is always right around the corner, similar to Marvel Rivals. To be able to ship builds predictably, we go through a number of finaling milestones for each release. By the way, prior to recording the MCN today, I am on a very low amount of sleep, and I've worked, I think, about 12-13 hour day before traveling back an hour to get home. So I'll make sure I'm kind of I'm covering this as best I can. But I apologize if anybody like, blah, 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 Rich, you blah, 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 blah. Sorry, audience, I love you. Anyway, when it comes to bugs, there's two categories that are helpful to understand. Client bug. The type of bug requires a fix to the game's client. We have to release a new build to get the fix in. That requires going through the first party's approval process all over again. When we do this to address the critical live bugs, this is what we call a hotfix build. Issues with animations and VFX. Interesting. Server data bug. This type of bug requires a fix to the game's server code or to the data that lives on the server. We can do this without having to go through first party approval process again. While the typical requires significantly less time than a client fix, it still pulls time and resources away from other things. This is, I don't know if it's tough to criticize, Kabam at times, and you might think, I'm Kabam, I think, it's very easy for Rich for you to kind of criticize us. Look, it's not done with ill heart or ill intentions. It's just how I'd always, if I work for Kabam and a higher up, I'd be asking the question how can we speed up process? Is it resourcing people better? Because then a Kabam telling us right here, resources away from other things. Is this something where you've got the team working on something that's going to be cool, beneficial for the players, but then have to take away that time in order to deal with something like this? Of course, it's not great when any bugs happen, but it's the pace. Are other developers quicker? Okay, there's a good shout to say yes. But again, if I work for Kabam higher end, if I was right at the very top, I'd be asking questions like, why? What can we do to make this better? What are the pitfalls? Is it standard? When they're talking about first party, they're talking about Google, they're talking about what can be done to speed up that process? This is where things having the game as a PC version more than a mobile version, and I'm not saying exit the mobile version for the PC version, but what the PC version might offer is a more of a quicker process. Marvel Rivals are able to quickly deal with their PC version base of the game because it's built for PC. It's built for console as well. But then is it easier to do it in the PC version of consoles than it would be to say in a situation like this it's mobile? I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking the questions right here because we'd like to have answers. So this is cool as well. Now let's take a look at the examples of how some build finaling milestones overlap each other. You can see here the builds, a March release, April release, and the May release, and how you've got to bug resolved by that time, so they've got to do that, and then critical fixes only, submission on the 18th, so that's pretty cool, and then release on the 7th of April. So they've got to do a lot to ship it over. It's a shame then. Is that again another question? Is this a demand by Google and what was it iOS that you have to have it in the App Store or prepared for the App Store? Otherwise, it's not going to go live. That again, other questions that would be interesting to find out. Does it make it easier or not? Hypothetically, let's say we identify a client bug on March 14th. New build required. We're 4 days out from when we need to submit it. The 50 build to first parties to approval. So at this point, we need to ask a few key questions regarding risk and feasibility with regards to addressing an issue. Is this severe enough that it's worth risking missing the 50 release date is severe enough to warrant 50.01 hotfix, also a stacks risk on 50.1 release. If not, then our next available window, so that's why a lot of the time they would say, you know, when there's been bugs that just lasted for a month, like that's effectively it, that they've got to kind of like leave it in there, otherwise they release the window. So again, it falls back to like, are Google Play and iOS just so pedantic, or they vote so regimented, strict about it that they cannot allow it to be submitted any later, or, you know, close to, because that's a long window there. 18th there. What was that? So days wise, 18th was Tuesday, 7 days, 9, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 9, 20. Okay, so like 21 days. That's ridiculous when you think about it. Like, there's just no time to kind of pivot. Man. Is it 21 days? It might be 21 days, I think. Anyway, it's just sad that they can't pivot if there's anything with that, and have to be like, just if it's not there by that, it's done. From developer side of things, waiting a few months to implement a bug fix that fits within the build release cycles feels like a rapid and organic turnaround. However, from a player's perspective, we understand this can not only feel like an eternity, but also frustrating experience when playing our game every day. Game development on a live service game is often not a sprint, but a marathon, and we need to make sure we properly pace ourselves while figuring out the best efficiently deliver solutions to issues and pain points. Well, again, I don't want to bring up other comparisons of other game developers. It's just maybe it's different. Maybe it's different. I don't know. Maybe not on mobile, because if every mobile game developer is restricted to submission, then that creates an issue, doesn't it? Now, all the examples used here were pretty straightforward. It's not all of them are. With 10 years under our belt and over 300 champion interactions, there are many compounding issues and challenges that regularly present themselves at each new build. To name a few: older legacy tech that can be difficult to work with, obligations to our partners, impacts on content plans, all the cool new things we're working on, and the multiple devices, platforms, versions we support all need to be weighed out as part of the prioritization equation. I think someone at Kabam needs to do like an assessment and just go, look, what can we do to make this more of efficient? Like, it needs to have a management consultancy in and just look at what everybody does, not everybody does, but the processes, and go, are there anywhere that we can save time? And when I say save time, I mean like, okay, make more end of use devices and just go, sorry, your device from 2016 that is now nearly 10 years old is not going to run this game anymore, so we're not going to like allow you to play it. I know that sucks and that's sad, but this is again a process that could be, if you're saving a bit more time one place, you can just look at other places to save time. I'm sure Kabam will say we're doing the best we can to find saving time, but no, it's not any, but it will be higher ups, and this is not like the game team level. It's people higher up should be just making those decisions to go, can we save time in any place? Our goal in this entry is to provide some transparency into how we work, but all that said, we hear you, the community, making improvements to make your experience as Marvel Contest Champions better. Many of us actively play the game every day, and we feel the pain from bugs, issues. Some of these problems are a lot more challenging than others, and will take longer to address, but we're working for them. Yeah, okay, brilliant. This was an interesting read. I did enjoy it. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that I do actually, agree that Kabam are doing. I understand the process. This is an eye-opener. But then it's an eye-opener to things like, why are Google and iOS so strict with the way they operate with getting the update out there for submission? Number one. Number two, why aren't people higher up at Kabam making business assessments of this stuff to improve things? Where's that CEO that was in several years ago that obviously used to work for Netmarble? Why hasn't he looked at investing in better tech, or gone, What kind of tech do you use? Okay, well, we need to make a business case for this to be done and we need to finance this. Why hasn't that been done? No, it's just questions. Like, I'd be asking more questions on the processes. I appreciate Kabam for doing this. More of these, please. And yeah, just hopefully more improvements internally for Kabam at the same time. But what are your thoughts on it? Comments, and as well go to the forums and things like that. Check out some other content. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the live stream coverage later on as well. Bye.